In this problem, we are writing the equation for the line that passes through 2 points. In the past, we have used the point slope, and we have used the slope-intercept form. But both of those required the slope, okay? And the other one required the y-intercept. In this case, we have neither of those things. So this requires us to have actually two formulas here. The first one that we need is we need to find the slope. And so the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, now once we find this slope, this will allow us to go back and use that point slope that we know how to do, and we can use either one of these points when we get to that point. Now, how do we use the slope formula? We need to label these points that we have. So this is an xy point. This is an xy point. This is the first point. This is the second point. And I'm being really meticulous about this because I see a lot of students mess up in labeling. So if you don't label correctly, you're not going to get it in the formula correctly. That said, you should definitely memorize this formula, okay? All right, let's plug in. We have y2, which in this case is 0, minus y1 is 6, divided by x2. x2 is 7, minus x1, careful in the signs here. So this will be 7 minus negative 2. Okay, so let's simplify this. This is negative 6 divided by, this is 7 plus 2, that's 9. Well, negative 6 ninths is not the answer. We need the simplified version. So when we simplify this, we get negative 2 thirds. They can both divide it by 3. So our m in our problem is negative 2 thirds. Now, what do we do next to figure out the equation? Well, we have the slope now, and we obviously have a point. We have 2 points, which means we can use the point slope form. So we're going back to that point slope form. I'm going to write it over here. Point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so now we can plug this in. We have, again, remember that first y we're keeping, minus y1. I'm just going to go ahead and use the point that is labeled x1, y1. You could use the other point if you wanted to, but I'm going to use this one. So y1 is 6 equals the m that we just found, negative 2 thirds, times x minus x1. Our x1 is negative 2, so we're using parentheses for that. Okay, and then we want to simplify this. Okay, so take care of these double negatives. Y minus 6 equals negative 2 thirds x plus 2. Our next step would be distributive property. So we're going to do y minus 6 equals negative 2 thirds x. And then negative 2 thirds times 2, remember you're multiplying the top. So this is really over 1. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. And 3 times 1 is 3. So multiply the bottom. And then we need to solve for y. So we're moving the 6 over by adding, changing the sign here. And then let's come over to the side. Again, you could use a calculator if you wanted. But I've got negative 4 thirds plus 6. I need this 6 to have a denominator of 3. Right now it has a denominator of 1. So we're going to multiply this by a factor of 1. But 3 over 3, that's just 1. But that will give us our common denominator of 3. Okay, so this is going to be negative 4 thirds plus 6 times 3 is 18 over 3. And now we can do the top. So negative 4 plus 18 is 14, and keep the denominator the same. So this, coming back to our equation, our final equation for this is y equals negative 2 thirds x plus, again, this 14 over 3 is positive. So that will give us our plus 14 over 3. And that is our final equation on that one.